All right, so they took that shit fucking down. I don't know why the fuck they took that shit down. Probably because the live started, but
Listen to these results.
Red Bull.
$100 million.
So
$3
get ready
million.
for us. It's time for the watch party.
And then their biochemistry is dealing because the modern white person has that Nordic DNA, but they also have Neanderthal DNA, and inside of that Neanderthal DNA, there is a portion of melanated DNA, and that's why when the life seers of this galaxy, when they came to this Earth, they had to splice the Nordic DNA with Neanderthal DNA. They had to incorporate that Neanderthal DNA into the other races because the Neanderthal is the very reason why other races are able to mix. The Neanderthal is like a bridge species between different humanoids. You have African DNA in the Neanderthal. You have monkey ape DNA in the Neanderthal. You even have some canine DNA. You also have the Nordic DNA in the Neanderthal. So the Neanderthal was needed as a bridge species in order to give the go-ahead for every race to be sexually compatible on this earth. And I know this may be a lot. This may be very shocking. This, very much paradigm shifting. But if you do the diligent research and you look at the information that I went over, I believe that this can be easily verified.
Right. Wow. Yeah, very interesting. So, this Nordic race, why did I want to ask you about the guy you talked about the gods from Sirius? You said the gods from Sirius allowed the Nordics to invade Earth so they could set up the Tiamat project, the gene splicing program, so they could attempt to create perfected beings.
That's right.
They weren't happy with who they were. They seen something with the Nordics that they were like what was the mindset with splicing in ancient times where they wanted something that the Nordics had to splice with?
They saw Earth and they saw all the resources that were on Earth, and they had to formulate a plot to find a way to take that from the original inhabitants. So there may have been wars between the Syrians and the original Atlanteans, and maybe the Syrians were unable to defeat the Atlanteans, and that's why the Syrians felt the need to get the Nordics involved and then start the splicing program so they can create other races, to take over the resources of Earth.
So you're separating the Syrians from the Atlanteans. You saying they come from different? Okay. I thought the Atlanteans were Syrian, but so where are the Atlanteans? What part of the galaxy are they from? The Atlanteans.
The Atlanteans is Earth. That's Earth. And when they study the DNA on the chromosome level of the so-called Black American woman, her DNA goes back on this Earth billions of years. Now, the so-called Black American man has the oldest Y chromosome on Earth, and that goes back over 340,000 years when the male sex was first engineered on Earth. Because before that, you had the Amazonians, who were a group of so-called Black American women from South America to North America, and they lived in a matriarchal structure, and they were asexual. They gave birth to clones, and they had a queen of their empire. So everything that they put in the comic books, seems to be the real reality, and everything that they told us in their education systems seems to be very misleading.
Why is it based on, it seems that it's easier based on our genetics and DNA. Like let's
There we
say
go.
a brother gets frustrated with sisters, right? You have something called the Power Bros. Brother be like, man, I ain't effing with those black women no more. I'm going easy messing with the woman from overseas or whatever. But with women, it's like let's say she just suffered 5 heartbreaks. Her homegirl might tell her, man, you should try a woman. You should try to get with some woman. So why does it seem that women are able to
You know, he's not wrong about that, bro. Yeah, niggas would never say "Ayo," bro. You know what I'm saying?
at such a faster rate? Be gay
That's
at a
what, you know what I'm
faster rate.
saying? Nigga said be gay at a faster rate, bro.
You know, well, I can't say mate with each other, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't see when through experience, you don't see brothers going that route as fast as a woman would go that route. Is that anything?
Exactly.
Is that anyhow connected to what you're saying?
It's very much connected because for hundreds of millions and billions of years, you know, when you deal with an entire planet that's only female, asexual females, at some point that had to have been going on to some degree. And when you look at just basic biology, women are the first, you know, gender on Earth. You have 2 X chromosomes. The X chromosome has to be the original human.
No, I'm not laughing at the
because
video.
the male needs a female X and a male Y. The female does not need a male chromosome. So therefore, the woman has to be the original.
Bro, that's something I've been thinking about for a long time, bro.
No, very, very interesting.
It's like last year, bro. I'll be like, oh man, bro, that kind
of
that shit like.
Disagree with that. You may get offended. It's all right, but like I said,
shit like that shit changes a lot of shit, bro.
Over and over and over. So.
All right, so
yeah.
But all right, so like I said, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Okay, so you saying the men on this on Earth didn't pop up to around 300,000? That's not
340,000.
Wow. What civilization was this? Atlantis? What Lemuria? What civilization was this when men popped up?
Atlantis. Lemuria was you know, that was like an empress. But
I think this one got
the
fucked
patriarchy
up
started with Atlantis.
Right.
And it's very interesting because when you look at the Africans, and this is going to shock a lot of people, the Africans as well as the Europeans at many points in history did show signs of not being original to this earth, or not being immune to the biochemical makeup of the earth. So for instance, we've all heard of the Black Plague, right? That happened in Europe in the early 1300s. Yeah. The bubonic plague. And when the Spaniards and the Portuguese came to the Western world, they killed off most of the Incas and the Mayas and the Olmecs with their Spanish flu. Now, most people would think that that's just some kind of random coincidence. But wait a second. During the Black Plague, their entire species was almost wiped out completely. Now, if you study the way biochemistry actually works, if you were to go to a totally different planet, if you wouldn't be housed in a biodome and a spacesuit, you would die within maybe a day or a few days, because your cells are not immune to the foreign microbes and bacteria on that particular planet. So because of that, your cells would have to form an immunity to that new environment, to those new the new bio atmosphere, the new microorganisms. In order to form an immunity, you would have to get sick, and in many cases, you would end up dying until over time your species grew a form of immunity in that new atmosphere, in that new environment. That's exactly what happened with the that group of white people in Europe in the early 1300s. I literally believe there were UFO crafts that were literally dropping humanoids and different humans off in certain locations to populate the earth. I'm dead serious. And that's where a lot of these plagues come from. It's because, you know, when you talk about the origins of the European, the origins of the African, we're talking about, you know, two different groups that are from two different star systems with totally different, you know, biochemical makeups and different, you know, different atmospheres. When we talk about, you know, what kind of microorganisms that they are immune to. And this is why a lot of new diseases, you know, they are created between Africa and Europe. They have an African and European origins.
Oh man, you got some wild theories. You said that aliens dropped off the humanoids to populate Earth in their body. Wow, man, that's very, it really makes a person think. So I definitely commend you for saying stuff that will get our gears going, man. Yeah, that's some interesting stuff right there. So you mentioned the mulatto man. Why did you mention the mulatto man? What role does the mulatto man play in this whole thing?
Whoever, and I'm speaking about the entities that are responsible for the gene splicing program, which I refer to as the Tiamat Project. Whoever is the head honcho of this gene splicing program on Earth, I believe their ultimate goal, or one of their ultimate goals, was to create the mulatto. Because when you look at the dynamics, the genetics of the mulatto's DNA makeup, you're talking about an entity that possesses both the highest masculine, the highest feminine, and we're talking about two different polar opposite sides of the galaxy, two different polar opposite humanoid beings that represent opposite frequencies in the galaxy coming together to form its own entity. And that hasn't happened before in millions of years in this galaxy. I believe it just recently happened in the past 5,000-6,000 years, but I believe that is part of their ultimate goal. And you actually see this being carried out in Europe, their ultimate goal. And you actually see this being carried out in the Western world as far as, couples being brought to be interracial couples. And, it's getting to the point to where you have to ask yourself, is there a greater agenda at play? And I believe that there is. And I believe that, when it comes to creating the mulatto group, I believe that is the ultimate goal of whoever's in charge of this genetic splicing program.
Indeed. Wow. So what do you think, the time period we're in now, you see everything going on, what group is most interested in Earth right now? Like, we hear all this alien talk. Who are they really talking about? Who can we expect to see if we got all these groups out there monitoring Earth? Who can we expect to see out of all these groups?
Oh, I mean, of course, you're always going to see the Draconians, the Greys, because the Greys are slaves to the
hold on a second. All right, hold on. I just gotta pause real quick, bro. I remember I was watching Young Elder, bro. I remember he's talking about how like that shit is offensive to call them the Greys and shit, cause, bro, like imagine it's like. Yeah, it's like on Earth, like we call like race, like the blacks, the whites, like But like besides that, it's like Mexican niggas like the browns, the reds, the yellows. Like nobody says shit like that, bro. So like they're saying like like they're saying damn, you know what I'm saying, like this shit kind of racist, bro. Like when you said shit like the grays and shit, but yeah, bro. Like I was like, this just made me laugh for a second, bro. But yeah,
You know, for everybody
bro.
who's unaware, the draconians are just like highly intelligent reptilian humanoid beings, and then you have insectoid beings that can either appear like a mantis or a beetle. You know, you also have different insectoid beings that live in inner earth that look like ant humanoids. They're neither malevolent or benevolent, but they just sometimes they spy on human activity and just go on about their business, but they're not. I don't believe that they're a part of the Tiamat project, but you know, the people, the beings that are spying on or checking on their experiment are the reptilians, the Greys, the Syrians, which include the Nagas, the blue aliens, the Nomos, and then, you know, the humanoid Syrians. Those are the ones that are responsible for, you know, for the genetic experiment, which is life on Earth.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, okay. So what other species in the galaxy belongs to, let's say, the masculine side of the galaxy, and what other species come from the feminine side of the galaxy? Just curious.
The Palladians are basically the Nordics, and then you have another group. There's the Palladians is basically the Taurus. That I think that's the inside of the Taurus star system, Taurus star constellation. And then you have other solar systems that are closer neighbors to Earth's solar system. And the closer you are to the Earth solar system, the more feminine energy that is going to be ruling that particular star system. Now, when you look at Earth, right? Earth is known as Mother Earth. Earth has a sister named Venus, right? They're all sisters, and they go back to feminine rulership. And when you look at the Palladian star system, you're talking about the patriarchy, and you know, the birth of the Nordics, and their whole structure is based off of patriarchal rule. So the star constellations that are around Taurus, you have of course Gemini, you have Cancer, right? And remember, the zodiac is the size of the galaxy itself. You see what I'm saying? So you have different civilizations in different locations of the galaxy, and that zodiac wheel represents the entire galaxy itself. And depending on what type of rulership that these civilizations conduct, it depends on whether they exude, you know, more of the masculine patriarchy or more of the feminine matriarchy, which would create the term, you know, feminine rule or masculine rule.
Right. Yo, let me ask RFG. Let me ask you this: what do you think the planes crashing have anything to do with anything cosmically happening now? I know we're going through a lot. The human resonance, the Schumann resonance is off the charts, and the magnetic poles are shifting. What's your thoughts on all these planes crashing?
That's a very good question, and you know, a lot of people believe it has something to do with the pole shift, but a lot of people are unaware that the Earth, you know, the energy field around Earth is non-magnetic. When you talk about the energy field around Earth, you know, we're talking about dark energy, ether, and static.
Right.
That creates the energy field around Earth, and something is taking place. There's a new level of frequency that's being emitted by the Earth And any kind of entity or object that doesn't match that particular new frequency of the Earth is going to be facing certain anomalies. And when you talk about these, the crafts that are crashing out of nowhere, I believe the first two that were aired in Philadelphia and DC, I think that those were rituals. I think those were carried out by the black budget government, and I think those were sacrificial rituals. But the others, I don't believe those are coincidences at all. I believe it's some kind of anomaly going on with the static energy field around the Earth. And it has to be resonating at a new frequency, and for whatever reason, the planes are not. They're not connecting. They're not connecting with it. And there was a TV series that spoke about this. I know most of you have seen Leave the World Behind, right?
Right.
Now, what was happening close to the middle of that particular film? Planes dropping out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So and I've heard, I'm not sure if this is true, but they're saying maybe in between 35 and 40 plane crashes so far in 2025 alone. And you know what I'm saying? We're just in the first week of February.
It's crazy? That Gary the Numbers guy versus Andrew Wilson debate.
If we're talking about extraterrestrials,
they're talking about this for
advanced technology. Do you think they have the ability to hack our computers?
Maybe
a lot of the things we do, banking,
like a large
air flights, a lot of that is digital. Do you think it's possible for extraterrestrials to hack?
Let's see, because Andrew Wilson apparently was on.
Absolutely. Now, I don't see what kind of like benefit they would get from it, other than trying to collapse the entire economic currency system so they could implement a global currency. That I think that would be the only logical reason for them to hack our systems.
Right. What rule? I ask different people this question, and anytime I remember way back in the day before social media and the internet took off, they had a show on TV called Ancient Aliens, and they love talking about it. They had so many episodes. From here now, I asked a lot of different people this question, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say. What species or extraterrestrials was him and his crew involved with for them to get to where they got? I know he went to Antarctica and different places. Who were they involved with? Hitler and his people, the Nazis.
The Nordics, the Greys, and the Reptoids. There was a situation where Hitler and his Nazis traveled to Antarctica, and they stumbled across a tunnel, like a tunnel system, and they went down and they saw like UFO crafts and like giant hangars, which are basically like giant garages that hold the UFO crafts. And out of nowhere, these extraterrestrial entities just appear after being camouflaged. With the best form of camouflage there is. They're saying that these beings either shapeshifted to match their very environment, or they had the same technology that we saw in the Predator films, where their suits were able to bend the light photons that hit it, where they would just appear to be a walking mirror. So it's either they stumbled across these entities that had technology to make them look like walking mirrors, or they were able to literally shapeshift to match the image of their environment. And when they showed themselves, there was a shootout, and they said dozens of Nazi soldiers died, and only a very select few were able to make it out alive.
Wow.
And that's what they say that they made movies off of, like Predator and yeah, Predator, and the movie called The Thing.
Mm-hmm. You know, when we talk about seeing things, a lot of people don't see things. Some people do see things, extraterrestrials, aliens. The people who don't see it think the people who do see it are out of their damn minds because they don't see it. So they're like, if I don't see it, it ain't real. One of the, we all talked about DMT before, and you know, I've never done DMT, but people who do it, they start talking to plants and seeing shit move and all types of experiences, spiritual experiences they have. I want to ask you, when we come to this realm as children, um, children see all types of shit that the adults on DMT see, like things in the sky or imaginary friends or dragons or shit like that. Do children, when we come to this realm, do we have a high level of DMT and we shut it down? Like, is there a connection between the level of DMT children have and what that drug that we take when we get older, the DMT? I hope I asked that right.
That's correct, because the pineal gland is a natural producer of DMT and other different chemicals that are able to allow our consciousness to see light waves that are existing outside of the light photon spectrum. And when you're a child, that is literally when your pineal gland is the freshest and the most active. And that's why a lot of different cases show that, the intuition of a child is very, very high. Children are able to see spirits on, much more consistently than adults. And, that has to do with that pineal gland not being calcified. And, this helps them. It would help them meditate if there was a program that, allowed children to tap into, their meditation abilities. Because at that period, between the ages 4 and 12, that's when the pineal gland is at its peak, is at its freshest. As an adult, we have to like ward off our thoughts and the time we have to take to make money, different distractions, different forms of idolatry. Then by that time, when you get an adult, all the chemicals that you take in from the food, from the pharmaceuticals, so-called drugs, the pollution you're putting in the air and the water, it starts to calcify the pineal gland. So that is a very solid reason why, children usually have better imaginations than adults, and on average, they experience paranormal activity a lot easier than an adult.
Indeed. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got about 1,700 people in here. I'm gonna get to some questions. I did a show earlier with Dr. Be Serious. For those of you coming in later, didn't hear the show earlier, the Non-Eat the God Fest will be available on Patreon. It will not be available anywhere else but Patreon. You can go to my Patreon, Black Magic 363. It will be on Patreon. I don't know if it's gonna be live stream, but it will be up there. I'm gonna put it up there. I'm gonna get to questions because we're ending a little early tonight.
Wow, sorry.
I got some stuff I got to do to prepare for the God Fest, so we got about 15 more minutes. But I want to see. I know the chat. Let me see the chat. The chat is busy tonight, so I want to get to some questions from y'all. So give me some questions, family, in the chat. And while I wait for y'all to give me questions from the chat, RFG, tell them about. I know you do readings. Tell them how they can contact you for readings that you do, my brother.
I do astrology, natal chart readings, and if you're interested in knowing basically the deal you signed with these Arconian beings before you incarnated into your body, you can hit me up on Instagram. That's RFG_chosen one, the number one. That's RFG_chosen one, the number one. just shoot me a DM, and I'll give you all the details on how you can book and set up your birth chart reading.
Right. Do you have a Cash App? Somebody asked if you have a Cash App.
I do.
What's your Cash App?
And that should be capital RFG, capital C, lowercase HOSEN, and then 1, the number 1.
So RFG chosen and the number 1.
Yeah.
All right. Let me put that in the chat and on the screen. Y'all can support the brother. Cash App $ RFG chosen 1. All right. Let's get to some questions. Let me see if y'all got. All right. Latrina wants to know, why do you think the orbs are making themselves known now?
Shit.
Well, I mean, orbs can be real, or they can be holographic projections. You know, because these days, unless you actually see the craft physically yourself, or if unless you're close enough to see it yourself, it could be a holographic projection because of their Project Bluebeam technology.
Right.
So that's why this day and age you have to be very careful and you have to be very analytical.
Mm-hmm. All right. One thing I also want to ask you from your Instagram post is, because you said the gods from Sirius are the ones that set up the Tiamat project. I remember when I first started knowledge, and they said Earth's first name was Tiamat. What can you tell me about the history of Tiamat?
They say that Tiamat had mostly herbivore creatures. Very beautiful, the same way Earth is, appears to be physically beautiful. Like the lakes, oceans, rivers, beautiful scenery, and mostly herbivores, and I believe mostly fresh water. And it was Maldek, the planet Maldek was the planet that had most of the predators, the carnivores, and the salt water. So when they collided, that's what gave Earth, a certain portion of carnivores and salt water.
Okay. Got you. All right. Another question is,
So there was basically
they
no
asked
point
about
in doing
the
that.
orbs. They also want to know about the fall. What is your thoughts on the extreme fall?
Oh, actually, yeah.
Saying that right.
Oh, that is done strategically and artificially, without a doubt. I believe there are certain uncharted islands on this earth where you may have NASA or some kind of national force or global force, and they're working together to create fake clouds, and these clouds operate as smart clouds. So inside of these artificial clouds is nanotechnology, and it's able to basically mirror or follow the heat signature of the sun. So wherever the sun's image goes across the sky, the cloud is able to match the speed of the movement of the sun's image across the sky. So, when you talk about a natural cloud, that is something that is supposed to move with the wind current, not with the image of the sun. You see what I'm saying? These new artificial clouds are literally moving the same speed as the sun's image across the sky. And I never believed that was natural. I always thought something was off with that.
I was watching something on Instagram, and a brother was like, it was a black dude. He was on Instagram. He was saying how we're really in the year 1017, and that they added 1,000 years to the calendar and changed the history to match. What would you, according to everything you've read, do you have an idea of what year you would say it really is if you was to change it from 2025?
Man, when it comes to years, I believe that is the hardest number, the most difficult number to indicate accurately, because, you know, we're talking about an Earth that's billions of years old.
It's almost impossible, right?
You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead.
No, I guess they saying AD, antediluvian, like after the last flood, so-called flood, or whatever you want to call it. Like how many years are we out of the flood?
I thought it was gonna be transparent.
Oh wow. Oh, definitely. Definitely between 5,500 and 6,000 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so all right. Let's get to some more questions. Somebody said, who are these people or beings in these underground cities where children are abducted to?
Oh, God.
I guess that's allegedly. We don't really know that.
Out of Earth that's billions of years old.
It's almost impossible, right?
You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead.
No, I guess they saying AD, antediluvian, like after the last flood, so-called flood, or whatever you want to call it. Like how many years are we out of the flood?
Oh wow. Oh, definitely. Definitely between 5,500 and 6,000 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so all right. Let's get to some more questions.
Oh, that's what he said. Okay.
Somebody said, who are these people or beings in these underground cities where children are abducted to? I guess that's allegedly. We don't really know that, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, is she speaking specifically about human trafficking or the government kidnapping children? Because when you talk about human trafficking, you know, that's done by many different billionaires, owners of multi-billion-dollar corporations that are involved with that.
Right.
Now, if you're talking about children being kidnapped for human experimentation, that's the black budget military working with extraterrestrials.
Have you ever felt like personally you were being, I think I might have heard somebody say this on this channel or somewhere else earlier, that the government was trying to recruit you or trying to or monitoring you like directly? Like, have you ever had any type of experience like that?
I remember when I was back in Vegas, like I still have my main, YouTube channel up and running, and I was still putting out public videos consistently. I remember between 2017 and 2020, that 3-year span, it seemed like there were multiple times where I would put out a video and there would be helicopters like just circling around my apartment. And I would be thinking to myself, like, I'm not in, I wasn't living in the ghetto, not even close at that particular time. And I'm like, and a lot of times I would check the news, I would check, Google to see if anything happened in my area, and nothing. But multiple times, like when I would upload different videos, I would notice that, I had helicopters that were flying over my roof. And it got to the point to where there was a situation in July of 2020. I'll tell you the cross streets. I was on Rainbow and Charleston in those apartments that are called the Logan. They weren't always called the Logan, but they're called the Logan now. And I got out of my apartment because I'm like, why is this helicopter keep going back and forth? And I don't see anybody running on the ground. So like, they're not chasing anybody. So I'm like, what is going on? So I go out and I see the helicopter, and it's like in this deserted area that's near the plaza near Rainbow and Charleston. And the helicopter literally turns around and is pointed directly at me. And I'm like, is this real? Is this really happening? So the helicopter not only points towards me, it starts to move towards me. And I'm like, what in the hell? And
Bro,
so
these niggas try to
I
pull
see
into
clear as day the guy who's piloting it, and he looks my way, and then he goes over my complex, goes over my my location, and then he makes a turn, and he turns north. He makes a turn north, and then after that, I go back in. But at that point, I was pissed. I was pissed because they were circling around my apartment so much. It was almost like they were doing it intentionally to disturb the peace.
Wow. Damn, brother. Okay. Yeah. Wonder why you had to get up off of YouTube, man.
Yes, pretty weird stuff. Pretty weird stuff. And then another thing that happened in 2017 was I was working a security gig, and I was stationed on the east side of the 91 Harvest Festival, which was like a country music concert. And that was the night that it got shot up. I was working that whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I still have my wristbands that they gave out those days. And I believe it got shot up on a Sunday night. And that was very, very crazy. But I asked myself, like, is that a coincidence, or is this something deeper?
Right. Okay. Let's shit. Definitely don't think it was a coincidence. Let's I just seen I got a shout out to Brady for the super chat. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. We're gonna do 2 more questions, then we're gonna get out of here. Gotta get out of here early tonight, family. We are prepping for the God Fest. Somebody wants to know, is Sophia and Laldabaoth relationship the make or break of this false reality?
Laldabaoth and Sophia.
Laldabaoth, which is the demiurge, is mainly responsible for the creation of this physical universe. And I know this may sound a little complicated, but this is the facts. It is what it is. This universe is a holographic mimic. It's a holographic imitation of a real realm of real light. This is the realm of false light. When you talk about matter, you're talking about false light. So when you look at the smallest particle in the universe, they're going to tell you it's either an atom or a neutrino, but that's false. The smallest particle in the universe is not even a particle. It's a subatomic energy field that is shaped almost like a cube, and it gives light the illusion of being matter because it turns the light into a holographic image, which gives it the false illusion of being matter. And that's the smallest particle in the universe. So these subatomic particles, which I believe are photons, are subatomic energy fields that trap light and give the light a false holographic illusion of being matter. And their level of density increases and it comes together. More of them come together, and then that's what creates an atom. So when we break the matter down to the smallest level, the smallest particle is a holographic illusion, which means the entire universe has to be an emulation of what it's composed of, which is a holographic illusion. And you have people speaking on magnetism, like magnetism is some kind of divine force, like it's important on a universal scale. No, it's not. Matter did not bond with other matter through magnetism, because atoms bond through electrons, and electrons are all negatively charged. So how can magnetism be responsible for the creation of matter in the universe when matter only bonds with negative electrons, negative and negative? So that can't be magnetism. What that is matter resonating on the same frequency, light that's resonating on the same yin-yin frequency. That's right. Yin and yang are frequencies, not polarities. And, when we talk about matter coming together in this universe, it's literally the bonding of electrons, which is the resonating of the yin frequency.
Yeah. Yeah, I see you adamant about letting us know about what magnetism really is. I hear you talk about that a lot, man. So you standing on business with that.
Oh, absolutely. Magnetism can only be sustained through the weakest elements and the most unnatural elements. 95% of all matter in the universe is non-magnetic, and only the weakest, most unnatural elements are magnetic. And magnetism itself is only a byproduct of electricity. So, it goes from dark energy to ether to radiation, then to fire and electricity. And magnetism is only a byproduct of that electricity.
Okay, so I guess this will be the last question.
Yeah, somebody
so what realm is Sophia from if there were different beings before the third dimension in different parts of the universe?
Sophia is basically the portal to true God realm, and that's represented by the black hole in the center of the galaxy. When you talk about Sophia, now Yaldabaoth was one of the original stars that were birthed out of Sophia, which is the black hole in the center of the galaxy. And Yaldabaoth was born without his twin. And I believe he was also born as a hermaphrodite, unlike the rest of his siblings. So he ended up stealing a portion of Amma's placenta, which is the placenta of Sophia. He ended up stealing a portion of that so he could create his own world, and that ended up being the Earth.
What the fuck? I hope that's not true, bro.
I had it on mute. My fault, family. I had it on mute. But listen, man, with that being said, I want to thank you once again for coming on the show, giving us some very interesting things for us to think and ponder about. You always leave me searching for more information.
That shit was interesting, though. Somebody clip that
once
too,
again,
bro.
give them your contact info for everybody who wants to get in touch with you.
I appreciate you having me on, and lots of good questions as well. And if you want to reach me, you can hit me up on Instagram. It's RFG_chosen1, the number one. If you want to see my exclusive videos, you can subscribe to the Patreon account. That is patreon.com/RFG_chosen1, the number one. And if you want to send me an email, you can email me at amoapoxia@gmail.com. That's A-M as in Mandy, OAPOKSIA@gmail.com. And you can also be on the lookout for a new shipment of shirts and hoodies that I have, with the RFG logo on it, as well as Atlantean and Vegan Lion. And I'm still in the process of getting my ebook published, but that will be out shortly.
Indeed. All right, family. I will be back tomorrow night, family. RFG, thank you once again, my brother, and we will talk very soon. With that being said, everybody have a good night. Peace.
Absolutely. Likewise. Peace.
Damn. Just like that, it's over, bro. Man, you talk about the Godfather. That shit was only 55 minutes, bro. Holy shit. Wow, I thought it was gonna be longer, bro. Alright, here, child. I'll show y'all niggas what the fuck I was up to. Well, no, that was fun. So, yeah, that was RFG, man. I'm gonna have to fact check what he was talking about. but I do think he has a point on a lot of this stuff. Because I using just BDL seems a little bit more versed in this type of stuff, but RFG was on that show with him, and they were agreeing on a lot of stuff. So I'm like, okay, I might as well check out both of them, see what's going down with him on this show. Because I've seen multiple of his shows, but like his other shows, he talks about like more like it's not like it's like more specific topics and stuff. It's not more like random, like more like spread out topics. But that was kind of concentrated at the same time. I think I kind of missed the very beginning because when he says like here, let me just, he posts stuff with it too. So let me search up his IG post and put it on the screen, bro. Ooh. That'll take a second, man. All right, here we go. Is it this? Here we go. Yeah, the guys from Series 11 Nordics to invade Earth so they could set up a TMI project, gene splicing program and gene mixing program, so they could attempt to create perfected beings. Like, yeah, they're saying that, yeah, like that's his like diagnosis of this shit, man. And I'll leave this up for a second so like you can read it. Let's see. Yeah. That was RFG, man. Shoot, I didn't know it was gonna end that early, man. It's kind of crazy. Wow. Yeah, bro. I'll play this real quick for you, bro. He has a video. I'll show you a video on his Rumble that I like a lot before we get into the other stuff. Hold on 1 second, guys. Interesting shit going on. Very strange indeed. Crazy shit, man. But yeah, bro. Trying to find something to play for y'all motherfuckers. Just something chill, bro. Oh shit. Guilty conscious. we'll finish this real quick. This is therapy session for me, nigga, so just go through more of this. It's not that serious, bro. I'm fucking trolling, dude. Alright. I'm about to edit this real quick.
You're listening to Rip Squad exclusive. Purchase your tracks today.
Fuck yes, sir. Hello. Let me check something out real quick. Hold on a second. Oh, I gotta take a picture of this shit.
Purchase your tracks today.
Shit's funny, nigga. Fucking Oreos, right? Get the fuck up out of here, dude. Guys, that's funny. Alright, bro. Here, bro, I'm trying to test this shit out, bro. Now, let me see. No. Trying to test this shit out. Yeah, bro, something's blocking it, bro. Oh, it's using the fucking.
You're not ready yet.
Why the fucking ugly ass tag? My tag is mid, bro.
You're not ready yet.
He just plays me, bro. I ain't telling you, bro. I can't even actually be honest.
You're not.
Alright, so it's working, bro. Yeah, that's
You're not ready yet.
Yo, I hear before you can do that. Here, I'll do this. I fucking sample this shit.
You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet.
Yeah, that's really big fucking stuff. Hold on a second. Oh, shoot, so good. No attack speeds. Another super. What are you talking about? This is the best wish you're gonna have. Okay. What is this, bro? Somebody's flipping the goddamn song. Bro, like, it's gonna be like a. Yeah, I'm from my big ass boy. But no, it's supposed to. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be like a. But like the fucking image is so cooked. It's like I'm trying to get like the like a. Just have to do like this, bro. Yeah. That's very small. Nah, either way, fuck it. Look, this Goddamn, nigga. Alright, I see where you are.
You're not ready yet.
This is the Cariana song, bro.
Red squad, red squad, red squad. You got that fire, that nigga beside it.
Nah, this is nice.
You're not ready yet. 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 You're not ready yet.
Yeah, bro, I think he's trying to tell me something.
You're not ready yet.
Oh, fuck it, bro.
You're not ready yet.
I'll do it like this.
You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. You're
Battery low. Please charge now.
Oh, God, no, this thing's good choice.
You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet.
Damn, that shit's annoying.
You're not ready yet. You're not that.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Ridiculous, bro.
I'm big bad, you little bit. Little bit. Big walk, big step, big rank.
Alright, bro, I'm about to eat some cereal, bro.
Rain on your parade.
I don't need myself.
And we just throw them things. If it's something in the air, bring your eyes to change. If it's gassing in the air, bring your eyes to change. What do you focus on? Know this? Like muscle and niggas and show this. Like the shit in your garbage, I know this. And I tell a little fucker she told. And I don't feel anything, bitch. If anything loading, and the gas tank just soaking. I mean gasoline just soaking. Ain't seen sunshine in a minute, cause the gas black from the smoking. We vampires and they can't get blood out this smoking. Tryna fit in, bitch, stop it right now. All of that cloaking. That shit like karaoke. I'ma hit it with gotta get it poppin', gotta get it jumpin'. She say every day Wednesday, she say Tuesday to Tuesday, first to the first. Little bitch wanna call me Yusuke. Fat ass, she pretty, but she so useless. Bitch try to seduce me, little hoe so quick. Spirit gun, I'ma use it. Milk bitch, some Pumas. And the bitch got more brain than a goddamn brain tumor. Sorry I'm late, little bitch, you know I could've pulled up so. Smash a thigh down, leave it out that same whole spread. Hills in the air, we just throw them down. If it's something in the air, bring your eyes to change. If we gassing in the air, bring your eyes to change. Hills in the air, we just throw them down. If it's something in the air, bring your eyes to change. If we gassing in the air, bring your eyes to change. The word of your focus, I know this. Like muscle and niggas and show this. Like the shit in your garbage, I know this. And I tell a little fucker she told. And I don't feel anything, bitch. If anything loading. And the gas tank just soaking. I mean gasoline just soaking. Ain't seen sunshine in a minute, cause the gas black from the smoking. We vampires anyway, can't hear love that this smoking. Tryna fit in, bitch, stop it right now. All of that cloaking. That shit like karaoke. I'ma hit it with dope.
I ain't rapping.
This other thing I ain't even gonna rap. Yeah, this is a song I ain't even gonna rap at all. You speak sign language to you and rap. So, I think it's still my ass on that fast. Fuck up to the blue, look up to the bird. Yeah, you better watch your words. You know that I know when it hurts. You know that I know when it's issue. Coops is so down with me. Wipe out my dick with that tissue. Kid on my dick with your mouth. Yeah, put me as they don't mind me. I was just at the store. Yeah, this bitch in the center was looking at me. I got your whole girl looking at me. I got the whole world looking at me. It's crazy, the eyes on that nigga is raining. All of my windows is hitting the crew that I live in the truck on the bed. Yeah, when they can run on the edge of the customers, bitch, I been minding my business. They need to mind their suit. Yeah, they need to really even have nobody. They need to find their truth. Yeah, I need to pour about 6 in the wall. I put a -2. Yeah, I've been up out there this day. I've been up out there this day. You know I don't know how to leave that, but I feel my heart too much. Deep in my chest. Shit like I be like a flu. I play the world like it's chess. Years, years of me, what did I do? Years, and shut up, I buzz on the cheese. Yeah, this other thing I ain't even gonna rap. Yeah, this is a song I ain't even gonna rap at all. You speak sign language to you and rap. So, I think it's still my ass on that fast. Fuck up to the blue, look up to the bird. Yeah, you better watch your words. You know that I know when it hurts. You know that I know when it's issue. Coops is so down with it. Wipe out my dick with that tissue. Kill my dick with your mouth. That put me on it on my knee. I was just at the store. Yeah, this bitch is was looking
I want some real nigga shit real quick. Alright. Yeah, fucking damn. There we go. Alright, 3, 2, 1, sing.
I mean, I know he's weird, but he is a good
Bro,
guy.
this nigga still hasn't got the album, bro. So that's dog that shit.
He's weird.
Immaculate location, man.
Oh. I can't hear anything. I think it's broken.
What? Oh, now it's out of sync. Oh, yeah, there's that main computer, man. It says drop out. It's supposed to drop this freaking month, so yeah, looking forward to that. In this Matrix. This is my mom matrix. I'll shout out some some underground niggas real quick. Dieses Jahr Mörder, Mann. True. No, let me check a little part of the sound. Oh, stream. Yeah, I'll make some tea afterwards. Maybe go on Monkey. But I don't really feel like you, man. If I'm gonna be honest with you, when I go on Monkey, bro. God damn. I like talking to the girls and shit, bro. But I don't really like talk to the guys and shit, bro. 'Cause I don't know, bro. You can just get like sped and repetitive a lot of the times, but like yeah, it goes. It's kind of the same thing for the girls too, bro. But like in a different way, bro. But like, bro, sometimes it's legit though. But like, I don't know. Like if it's niggas, I usually just end up skipping it. And shit. I'm good at it, bro. Like, I'm not even trying to be like, bullshit, bro. But like that ass. Alright. I'm gonna check on it and see if it'll play. Oh, the chat is muted, man.
Yeah, run into the gases. Yeah, run into your rivers. Ever put you through Vegas. They're trying to force my touch to put it to wherever. So I took a face. Pull out of your size. I'm a woman, I'm a good alley. I'm a mountain hood. Molly me, I used to a scholar. I'm inside of nothing. Ain't no sister to me, kissing me a book. So I started a crib, so I put me up, put a skin in over. Talk a Drake, KK, with a namesake. Sonntag schon Coldplay, yeah, DVD cakes. See me in Latina, turn the club with a nade. Ain't no cool snakes, you don't care with your handshake. Oh, that's my twin, in the flesh. Take a sex partner, oh man, you caught up. Du siehst den Autostrade, guck mal, ein Trade. Drink, touch a ladder. Turn up positive, for a click, crib a harder. Single fuck, but she falls so and tell me, I'm gonna swap, play. Du champagne, du fast that I get out. Bist du Kind, und mein Vater steht jetzt zu dem Serious. Ich will auf meiner Couch, in deinem Casino. Yeah, kann man tun, was ich sollte, meine Karte, soll gefallen. Yeah, put on Party, that's how the Stadt. Yeah, Lily, kann man teilen, nur tun, auf wie ich schon mal. Schenke, weil das hier nicht so, die Chucky, das hier brauche Baller. Stand me break TPC, so 50 cents in movie V. Guess it smells like Quan Chi. You be consumed deep, boy, I see. If some very much like DMC, now you do show for BNB. A car by night in PFC. Acho que minha vida é assim, acho que a vida é assim com true. Tem Dream Nation, Sonic Q. Me click so crap, shows um cool. Cinco chaves, temos a true. Versão realidade, country blue. Versão verdade, encontraste clue. Eu não sei subir, acho que ele é sujo. Yeah, run to the gases. Yeah, run to your rivers. Yeah, ever put you through Vegas. They're trying to force my touch to put it to wherever. So I took a face, pull out of your savage. So you push it to a Scorpio, so I started crash on your baby, I'm pretty skinny.
What is that? See if it what is that? Oh wow, it actually worked. Alright, that's nice. So yeah, talk about the Crisis 200, man. I don't even know what they were feeling though. I don't speak. Landing now. I'll fuck with the beats heavy. Yo, I just had a funny idea. Nah, on a fucking live stream. You better know thyself. All right. Oh, Rumble feed. Flex my feed on Rumble. Is there a freaking Angel Reese meal at McDonald's apparently, bro? All right, so check it out. Best feed on Rumble. Best feed on Rumble. But remember timelines, guys. So yeah, that's how James Doway wrestling, bro. Never compete with the insane, bro. Alright, I'll show y'all another feed. I'll drop another feed flex for y'all. 10 trillion booster pack, 10 billion on my wrist. Bro, the people really voted for that shit, bro. They voted for the Cooking with Kai fucking music video, Letter to Cooking with Kai. And like, bro, like every other video is, or every other, like, look at all the other letters, bro. Like, why? Letter to Rashad Jamal, letter to D1, letter to Young Thug, letter to Jacob York, letter to Rich Homie Quan. Like, bro, yeah, it's a letter to Cooking with Kai. Letter to Little Baby, letter to 21 Savage. Like, and yeah, there's a letter to Christian and Rock too. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know where it is. But yeah. All right, let's do the YouTube trending check. I'll do that. A raw feed on YouTube of only just raw YouTube feed, bro. Of no like no what's it called? No algorithm. No no nothing, bro. Like no prerequisites or anything. What you're gonna see, basic, was what people are gonna see, and also it's even crazier. We're gonna see the type of focus to me as well. So we'll see in a second. But I gotta make a cup of tea real quick first, bro, because I'm thirsty and hungry. But I told myself I was gonna. We're about to do a 7-day fast, bro. So yeah. Wow, this shit wasn't even charging the whole time. That's fucking beautiful. 1 second. Right there. That's kind of my flash. It wasn't really interesting. I'm gonna the fifth. I'm not really cooked on it. Let's see. All right, let's get this party started. Here we go. Alright, so we got a raw YouTube feed. No, nothing, bro. See what it pops up with. Let's go trending. Fantastic Four. Clicked up. Which is gonna probably imply more of this superpower stuff. And of course, we have Jurassic World. Rebirth. Oh. I actually heard about how from someone, it might have been You're Ill, but someone was talking about how certain things there's always gonna be reboots because they want it to like you. Oh, there's always gonna be dinosaurs. There's always gonna be new Ghostbusters. It's like why? And I forget what their explanation was, but I think it's like a timeline thing, man. Maybe. I'm really not sure, bro. But like, yeah. That's kind of crazy, though. You look up at the hashtags in this stream. But here, I'm about to go here real quick and set up this. All right, we back. Back. Got the German tea, bro. All right, you probably about to pull up. I don't know if we're gonna do monkey tonight or not. There we go. All right. Get back to the white tea. What else we got? We got a bunch of Ram shorts. Yo, Mama's calling Super Bowl. Trying this unrealistic Pinterest dress. Making friends at school. And then some like woman dating thing. Oh God. Homecoming by Rooster Teeth. Some Halo shit, bro. Glorilla, Fantastic Four, Blackpink, the K-pop stuff. Justin LeBoy, Kanye. Oh wow, yeah, what does it say? Hurry Up, Tomorrow, official trailer. The Weekend, bro. I thought it was an album. Yeah, same old Lady Gaga thing. Grey Wolf, Silly House. Bro, Silly House. Oh gosh. Accepta mi derrota. Final Destination Bloodlines. Oh gosh. Hell Divers 2. Poppy Playtime. Chapter 4. The actual aliens might look like. That's interesting. Swords beat tanks. Civilization 7 is a perfectly balanced game with no exploits. Alright, see, this is like, I really ain't think too crazy going on right now. I'm surprised there's nothing out here about the planes and that stuff, but hey, man, maybe it's on the news. It's just still Trump and Gaza is the main thing. Yeah, we have this like Gaza stuff. I'm sure there's a code on that. Yeah, 49. Interesting. Guantanamo Bay, bro. God damn. Wow. It's actually kind of weird, bro. He has a bunch of kids around him, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. But that was probably just me, just like being OD. But like, yeah, that's interesting, man. Alright, let me actually just play the video, bro. We'll play the fucking New York Post so we don't get fucking taken down. Alright, bro. Bruh, I wonder what that dude actually does, bruh. Yeah, what the fuck? What is that, bro? Or it's like, there's like only little box, bro. Bro, I'm just serious. I mean, yeah, I mean, I wonder, bro. Title IX. Let's see. That's interesting. Well, I guess he's gonna. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He used that to put it in. I mean, hey, bro. There's probably some solution they're gonna come up with where they can just do like their own thing or something. I don't know. Or maybe like certain people like I don't know, man. Because I like it's just it just doesn't seem like there's just that many people, bro. That would like. I'm just thinking from it like how would like you get around that from like the other perspective? Because there'll just be people snitching, bro. Regardless of like even if everyone else agrees if you get to that point. But I don't know, man. I mean, like it's not really like that important, bro, in the grand scheme of things. But I do think that's interesting, man. The stuff I've heard about, like he's banned, like he's gonna start banning federal aid, which is what young Elder predicted, like start like taking people's food stamps down. He's doing the deportations, which I think like only the criminals, niggas, should have gotten deported in the first place. Like I should have been like the whole like thing, but they just want to deport like basically everybody out in that bit. And then like what else? Freaking yeah, it is it, bro. I guess it's Gaza, the latest thing of the Gaza thing, but yeah, man. I do think it's interesting though, because technically a lot of those people, well, those places like Texas and stuff, used to be Mexico, like New Mexico and stuff like that. So I do think it's kind of interesting, man. That that type of stuff is going down, but I mean, hey, man, that's that. Oof. They that's YouTube. Go on Twitter real quick. Yo, social media detox, man. That's how Jen's been unlimited. I think I might have to tap in with the Tubby like going OD on it. Shoot. Fucking cool, man. Yeah, let's give this guy some advice. This guy right. Alright, never mind. This is not as serious. I'm gonna show y'all some other shit. I guess that we can react to. In the meantime, I decide, bro, because I don't know if we're gonna go monkey, bro. Because I don't know if the camera will keep up, and two, because I don't really know what to say, man, right now. Because I was on it the other day in prep, but it wasn't going well, bro. After that, because I ain't had nothing to say. But this is the white dude reacting to it. Yeah. It seems to me like people are catching on to this streamers having these cups contracts, so they kind of got to do certain types of things to get like you know what I'm saying, to get in it, man. You know what I'm saying. But this nigga almost seem like, you know what I'm saying, he jigging fucking, bro. With the thumbnails, bro. Yeah, bro, that is what it is. It's how music. Oh god, wow. You guys gotta see this, bro. Bruh. Practicing teleporting, jeez. Hey man, I ain't about to hold you. You know how that shit go. Chesapeake. Let's check it out real quick. And this thing got 174 subs, bro, 116K. Bro, I don't even know if I want to watch this, bro.
He was abusive to Zany. You know you've made some questionable decisions. When you get a notification like this on Discord. And you know it's even worse when you got this notification because you were in the same Discord as a murderer who is currently being investigated by law enforcement. But I swear it's not what it looks like. I've been seeing a lot of conspiracy theories online about this, and it's a little different than that. It's very simple to explain and will only take about an hour for me to unpack. So buckle up. Well, my experience with IllEGALRADI0STREAM truly began on the last podcast on the left subreddit, when a user wrote a long response to Marcus Parks, one of the hosts of the show, recently shouting out the artist IllEGAlRADI0STREAM. The post read, IllEGAlRADI0STREAM is part of a far-right music scene known as IllEGALRADI0STREAM that has politics straight from the 4chan's pole board, a cesspool of racist hatred, and has music glorifying school shooters and neo-Nazi mass shooters. Jezebel presents a Lisa Frank front, but if you look closer, she's super connected with the extreme right. I live in Atlanta and had the misfortune of a IllEGALRADI0STREAM concert, with Jezebel as the second build, occurring here, and it brought out a bunch of alt-right internet assholes who kept shouting the N-word and chanting race war now in a public park. Jezebel herself has a song glorifying the neo-Nazi Christchurch mass shooting. Basically, whenever she tries to have a show, she gets run out of town by local activists. Putting some links below. Again, not trying to attack anyone, and will not be getting into any arguments in the comments. Now, this definitely caught my eye, because this artist had been on my Spotify Wrapped top ranking for multiple years. I had bumped it on Aux and recommended it to my friends. Did I unknowingly glaze Nazi rock music? Now, scrolling through these articles, I soon realized that they are all from Antifa websites. They detail how Jezebel and other artists I was a fan of were part of something called incel-core, and I really had no idea there was anything deeper than just the music itself. I had no idea there was any sort of scene around it or that it was perceived as hateful. While I found the articles largely informative, there were some parts that rubbed me the wrong way, such as doxing one of the key members and even saying the church his family went to. So I decided to look into it further. Now, anyone who has heard of this before knows the main topic online of discussion around Incel-core is the ill-fated Virgin Fest. But I was still thirsty for more lore and wanted to dig even deeper, so I traveled across the country to investigate it. Now, what I found was a largely untold tale ignored by many despite being just as fascinating as any niche drama YouTube heads talk about. So let's rewind and answer the questions. What is Incel-core? And is it this hateful music genre it is said to be? Incel-core, or E-punk as some call it, is a lo-fi music genre, and it purposely tends to be a little rough around the edges. It embraces lots of ideas of modern struggles that I'd say are particularly relevant to anyone born after 9/11 with access to the internet. On the surface, it explores many topics like loneliness, romantic struggles, and unemployment, and overall delusionment in the world we live in. In my opinion, what is less talked about are semi-niche memes, stuff like conspiracy theories, lolcows, and lesser-known video games. These niche little lines, I think, really help with the genre of having a feeling of authenticity and being underground. Another aspect that seems to get ignored in coverage of Incel-core is that many artists in the genre identify as Christian and cite Christianity and Christ as one of the main reasons they make music. It doesn't exactly sound like your usual radio religious bangers, but I'm just saying what the artists themselves say. While I'm not qualified to analyze the musical aspects of the genre, Occultration has a great video on it I recommend checking out. I will look at some of the lyrics to paint a picture of what this music is about. There's no better example than the most famous Incel-core song, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Ruined an Entire Generation of Women. The song describes a man in a disgruntled relationship with a stereotypical modern-day woman. To me, it really doesn't read much different than Self-Esteem by The Offspring. Both describe a promiscuous woman that is frustrating a man, but the man also has his own issues of self-esteem and hating himself. And if you look into most of these Incel-core songs, you will really see the lyrics are no worse than anything on most Eminem songs. Even looking at some of the music that was listed in these articles to be about school shootings and like pro-school shootings, they really don't read as anything different than Puffed Up Kicks, a song you'll hear in an H&M any day of the week. When digging deeper into Incel-core artists, you do begin to see some that utilize images and ideas from hate groups, or particularly Tsar Bomba uses a lot of Nazi imagery and definitely seems to not particularly like the Jews. He's not very private about this. It's very active on his social media, a lot of his takes on politics that have gotten his accounts taken down. Similarly, artist Galja Hornet also has some lyrics and songs evocative of hate groups, and this whole aspect definitely makes the genre a lot more confusing and kind of makes it hard to separate what is just edgy internet rhetoric or legitimate hateful beliefs. As a rebuttal to this, many people will point to artists like Edgemaster42, who is Jewish and even from Israel, and there definitely seems to be a fair amount of gay fans of the genre, and even I only can think of one, but a gay artist making music.
This is gonna be low to come from me considering I'm gay, but I think like that's a funny conversation actually. For later, that it's funny that like a lot of my fans are also gay, even though I don't think I admit that very much in my songs. But like I start my freaking stupid server, and like half my fans who like message me, like they're also like of that variety. I'm like, okay, that I mean,
are they gay or are they just autistic?
No, they're gayer than I am, which is.
This has pretty much brought me to the conclusion that there's no one political ideology you can assign to everyone in the scene. The only real thing connecting these artists outside of musical influences is pretty much their discussion of loneliness and isolation. That's really what kind of makes an artist fall under the umbrella of incelcore. Their individual politics seem very skewed from artist to artist. Now that we've gotten the general idea of what incelcore is, I think it's important to look at some of the key artists in more detail and some of the more key events in detail. Negative XP grew up in a small town in Illinois, being raised by a first-generation Korean immigrant household. During his early life, he describes himself as being a quiet shut-in. When asked about his teenage years in Sex magazine, he's quoted as saying, "It was pretty dull and boring, and I thought it was beneath me. I thought I was meant for more, just typical snobby high school attitude, just being a burnout, smoking too much pot, and watching too much TV." He also later describes how he did not think of himself as very smart and still doesn't. XP went to college but dropped out following a drug possession arrest in which he was caught with a small amount of marijuana. This arrest also seemed to be a big influence in his Christian life. Well, he did start making music as early as 2010. His breakout hit didn't come until Scott Pilgrim vs. the World ruined an entire generation of women. Originally going by School Shooter spelled with S's, resembling SS symbology. The music made under the School Shooter name featured a lot more provocative images and provocative lyrics. Some of his album art were just straight up Nazi symbols, and one of his early hits was a song titled "Running Over Protesters in a Car" was made shortly after the Charlottesville protest in which a protester was run over fatally by a car. The album art featured an image of this event. Over time, his music grew more popular, and he began going under the moniker of Negative XP. Obviously, many TikTok teens who began dancing to the song soon found out about this older, more edgy side to him once his songs began going viral. During this initial virality, Anthony Fantano was asked if he would review any of his music, and he said he had no interest in reviewing shitty lo-fi Nazi music. XP responded by making his second most popular track, quote, "You shouldn't be allowed to listen to music if you watch the needle drop." Of course, his fans loved this response, and many other people from different scenes just appreciated seeing someone shit on Anthony Fantano. XP was a smart leader of the scene for a long time when it began to grow in 2019. He would produce collab albums that helped show off newer artists. Many artists in the scene saw him as a mentor that helped guide them through music production.
Shooter thought, when I was 16, all the way back in the Dale Pill day, Shooter thought I was a very great songwriter. He'd always tell me he thought I was a great songwriter and I had a lot of potential. And I mean, he covered 3 songs I wrote. He covered Dale Pill, Monte Carlo, and Hunting Season. And I always got on good with the guy, and I think he's a great guy. I mean, back when I was making those shitty phone recording songs like Dale Pill and Monte Carlo and Bill Elliott, Shooter sent me a DM on Twitter. He was offering to buy me a PC to record music on.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
He really liked me as a songwriter, I guess. And everybody shits on the guy, but I think he's the king no matter what. I think he's great. I love the guy.
In this early era of incelcore, there was close-knit discords and other servers where people were making real friends online. To this day, this era is seen as the peak of incelcore. People were united and people communicated freely with little drama. Negative XP initially loved the scene he created because he saw it as a unique group of people who were being themselves and were making internet music instead of just emulating 80s punk like was popular at the time. When facing accusations of being hateful, he mostly says the music is just made to piss people off on the internet. A lot of his songs also parody the type of people he feels need Jesus pretty much.
Entertainment. Well, you put yourself out there, you try to do these things that make you get attention. I do these things too, you know. And like Incel Lives Matter, all that crap, all that Scott Pilgrim song. I did that just to piss off people on Twitter, really, and then it pissed off all those people on TikTok.
Negative XP would go on to denounce the title of incelcore for the genre he created, believing you wouldn't call, in his words, rap N-slurcore or hyperpop F-slurcore. saying that it does not reflect his Christian values to call it incelcore. This is the origin of the other terms you might hear, such as e-punk or bedroom punk. However, due to events I will discuss later, he is pretty much completely separated from the scene or really any social media presence at all.
Yeah, I wonder why, huh?
IllEGALRADI0STREAM is an interesting member of the incelcore scene. Originally gaining prominence after she tricked some of the original members of the scene into thinking she was a man when she put out her original song, I Don't Speak to Whores. The scene was mixed upon finding out her true identity.
I think she asked to be on it, and I was like, are you a girl? That was the first thing I said to her, because I wasn't sure if they were trans, and if they were like a literal girl, then I was gonna be like, oh, sorry, you can't, because you're a fucking bitch, you're a fucking slut, and it's easy for you to like get attention because you're a bitch. And that's what I think about this one bitch that you guys pay attention to, even though you shouldn't, because she's just a dumb slut, and she shouldn't be making music. She should be doing other shit, because like, stop giving women attention and stuff. But Jezebel said, yeah, that they were a boy, and then I just assumed they were trans. And this is back when I thought Willow was trans, so I was like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. I don't really care.
She has gone on to make some of the most successful music associated with the scene. While discussing similar topics in her music to other artists, her indie 2016 Lisa Frank aesthetic made her a place in the scene a lot less evident to outside viewers. Much of Jezebel's music features the character Snailman. Snailman is kind of comparable to a Milo of the Descendants type character that's used as a focus of a lot of her music. She dated or had some kind of relationship with the other incelcore artist Galja Hornet, and they worked together on music occasionally. Galja Hornet commissioned an artwork of her fully nude in front of a Nazi symbol despite her age at the time, pretty much making the image lolly or illegal. As mentioned previously, Galja Hornet of any of the incelcore artists definitely is one of the ones that utilizes Nazi and other hate group imagery and lyrics. The breakup seemed to inspire most of the album Jezebel, especially on the song Bird Bath, which is the previous name of Galja Hornet's artist project. This is by far one of the best incelcore albums in my personal opinion. I say that even though it definitely seems to reflect an exit from the scene. It has far more variety in sound than most artists' projects. I think her music would be the most likely to blow up to modern audiences. I personally think it is only hindered by the controversies of her past. The most notable factor hindering her is her shows getting shut down. As mentioned in the beginning, one of her shows in Canada was notably shut down because of a large Antifa protest outside of the venue. She made a statement following the cancellation of her Canada show. The statement read, I hate having to post one of these long-ass boring wall texts, but what is happening to me in Canada is bullshit. I want nothing to do with political extremism, and all I care about is freedom of speech and expression for the sake of making music. The situation is, I was planning on playing a concert in Montreal. The bar got calls with threats to protest due to an article full of lies and false allegations, and lyrics taken out of context painted me to be a person I am not. Protesters then arrived early at the venue in masks and hoods and stood around trying to intimidate us and ran away when they saw police lights. Usually the good guys don't run when the cops come. It was clear their mission was performative and not genuine at all. I will clear up the allegations made in the article very quickly now. Number 1, misogynist. I've had a vagina and boobs my entire life. I hate men and women equally. 2, celebrating mass shootings. I do not. My songs aren't political. They stem from my personal emotions and experiences. I write music as a way to express those emotions because that's how I vent. This claim that I advocate for murder is based completely on lyrical misinterpretation. I doubt any protesters would have listened to Pumped Up Kicks, Big Whoop, listen to something else. 3, quote, incelcore. I am not an incel, parentheses, involuntary celibate. I do not define myself as incelcore. Again, my songs aren't political statements. They are about experiences, perspectives, emotions, events, relationships, mental illness, and fiction. I shouldn't have to post a sex tape to prove I am not an incel. Number 4, far right. I am apolitical. I don't have any extremist beliefs. It is not that important to me. I do not condone violence or any kind of discrimination. I do believe in freedom of speech and expression. and I do not like being censored. As for the show in Toronto, the venue originally moved to the larger main stage because of how many tickets were sold, but it is now canceled. They will not hear my side, and they will not acknowledge the money involved. I am aware that when a crime is committed or an assault is reported, intervention may be necessary. A pause is sometimes needed to allow the involved individuals to open their eyes, take responsibility, and pave the way for restoration. We all want to ensure the safety of our communities. However, the current situation is performative activism targeted against the wrong people, with no room for appeal and no opportunity for dialogue. All I wanted to do was play my stupid songs and sell some CDs and go back home. I don't know if the author of this article knows I'm fresh out of high school. I didn't ask for any of this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just thugging it out and doing me. I deeply apologize to my fans in Montreal and for the people that flew out and drove from faraway places to see me perform. I apologize for this annoying wordy-ass post. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe it's a test to see if I will keep going. I'm a little bummed out, but still motivated to keep making music. And haters, keep sucking. I'm about to come. Jezebel has now unfollowed many of her past collaborators in the scene. Her most recent concert at the time of making this video was for a charity, and she seems to be doing well, being largely separated from making this video, motivated to keep making music. And haters, keep sucking. I'm about to come. Jezebel has now unfollowed many of her past collaborators in the scene. Her most recent concert at the time of making this video was for a charity, and she seems to be doing well, being largely separated from the scene.
Oh, God.
Fried by Fluoride is one of the fastest rising artists in the scene currently. One of his songs recently went semi-big on TikTok, and he has a pretty large monthly viewer base on Spotify. However, many concerning allegations have been leveled against him. From an outside perspective, it feels like he may have a drinking problem. He loves to go on Instagram lives, shit-faced, and do stuff like whip his meat out.
This is wankery. This is songwriter wankery. Ooh, ooh. Songwriter wankery, man.
Also, despite being booked to perform multiple live shows, he has never once shown up to a single one. Artist Czar Bomba called him out for concerning statements he made about wishing he could engage with underage fans. Fried, like many in the scene, loves to make the edgiest tweets their feeble little brains can imagine. Somehow his address of the controversy on the E-Cell podcast was one of the worst I've ever seen from a canceled individual.
Obviously, there is allegations going around pretty maliciously all over the place, where people bring up the fact that I believe sometime last year in September, you went on a live stream and you had made a bunch of remarks such as saying that your age range is between 13 and 47. You kept saying that you're going to go to jail soon in reference to that remark. And you've also been accused of DMing a 16-year-old girl and then lamenting the fact that you can't legally have explicit images of her. And this has led to people like Czar Bomba, Penguin Band, and Snuffit's Grave making a big stink about it and publicly cutting ties with you. So what is your side of this whole situation?
Where's my son? I don't know. I don't think I did anything wrong. I don't know people's problem, man.
Okay. So you don't really. The big joke is that, Fried is into minors and stuff. Is there anything you have to say about that, or?
I don't know. I think that's kind of overblown.
Well, some people say that it started off as a joke and then you just took it too far. Is that pretty accurate? Pretty accurate summary of the situation?
I mean, yeah, some of it was a joke. Like anything I said on IG Live, I was probably like blackout drunk and like saying shit to be funny. Yeah, anything I ever said on IG Live, to anybody, probably. I'll throw on good.
All right, and you said that that's true for some of it. What about the rest of it? Like, what parts of it are you talking about aren't a joke?
I can't remember.
Well,
All right. Well,
I'll say for sure. I think there's a lot of things that Fried says or does on Instagram Live or tells people that's a bit of a publicity stunt because he likes to piss people off, as you can tell with his tweets. He says a lot of outlandish things to garner. It's a lot of rage bait, I'd say. He definitely does say some crazy shit. I'll be honest with you, though, I don't know his personal affairs all that well, but I do know that he does. I mean, I was on a lot of those lives. You can see me in those lives trying to get him to like not sabotage his life by saying retarded shit.
He practically says nothing while the interviewer pretty much opens him up with the perfect opportunity to say it was just a meme. Even his friends from the failed Barnyard collaboration try to speak for him, and it's truly awful to watch. Obviously, he has become a controversial figure in the scene, and he has become almost a lol cow for fans who make fun of his weight and controversial comments. However, he is still respected by many and is still making music and collaborating with them.
no.
Virgin Fest is, out of all the topics, the most notable one to come from the genre. It was really big on Twitter and was covered by YouTuber Turkey Tom, and is how many have found incelcore and either formed negative or positive opinions of the genre. The topic has been covered to death, so my description will be brief and mostly focus on the lesser-known fallout. This show was supposed to take place on 9/11 and was originally supposed to be at a local tattoo shop in Georgia, and was organized by a woman named Raven and her boyfriend Hot Leather. This was noticed by the post-COVID peak Antifa groups that were very popular at the time. These accounts led to the venue canceling and Raven and her boyfriend losing their jobs as tattoo artists.
Wow.
Not wanting to let local fans down, the show went on in a local park. A large turnout still arrived to this show in the park, including 2 Antifa members. A lot of these fans were not exactly who the public was expecting incelcore fans to be. There are openly gay furries and women at the show.
I thought this was gonna be like a crowd, like that's what they were making it to. You're the one asshole that looks like a douchebag. You look like everyone's hanging out normally. No one's doing any fucked up shit. I'm a gay furry, and you're the asshole. I'm here. I'm a gay furry. I'm a left-leaning gay furry, and like these people are cool.
The Antifa members were admittedly comically apparently Antifa members and stood out like a sore thumb in the crowd.
I'm pro-Antifa, very leftist. Yeah. Then why are you anti-Virgin Fest? Because this is a forum for misunderstood teens to just play their music together.
I'm a misunderstood teen.
You're not a teen.
I'm not a teen.
A teenager? Oh my God.
They were quickly clowned out and even had chips thrown at them. Yeah. They seem to have left and called the cops, which is very ironic given the Antifa beliefs. Police did show up to the event and were not too upset about the event and even danced and posed with the attendants. It seemed like they were expecting some big group of evil neo-Nazis and were surprised to see a bunch of basement dwellers. The crowd soon began to chant, "We love the police," and the police also loved that. The most iconic image of this entire event was 2 police officers posing with a fan with a shirt made to mimic those worn by the Columbine shooters. While Negative XP was initially hesitant about showing up at the show, he did appear to play 2 songs in the park. Despite some internet backlash, it was largely seen as a success for the incels. They were undefeated against the evil Antifa and stood up and played their own music. And it was a great event for many people that don't normally go outside that much, and is looked upon very fondly by many a fan of the scene. Woodstock is seen as the peak of 1960s hippie culture. However, the Altamont Free Festival is seen as the rapid downfall of this same culture. This example is very poignant to incelcore. I think this works as a great metaphor for the downfall of incelcore. Virgin Fest was the Woodstock for the incels. Doomerfest was the Altamont Free concert. While no one died at Doomerfest, like at the previously mentioned concert, it was still a disastrous, underplanned event. that led to dramas that lasted till this day. It was exactly what objectors to the scene imagined a incel concert would be like. Doomerfest was a concert designed to pretty much provide the experience expected from Virgin Fest. It featured the same organizers, and while in many ways Virgin Fest was seen as a failure, this show was somehow so much worse. Before the event even started, people were cut from the lineup and more drama was brewing beneath. Yet again, this show occurred in a public park, but granted, a public park with a stage and a better setup for a concert. There was so much ridiculous shit that happened, such as a dead raccoon at the venue that made multiple concert goers sick, along with a performer being punched in an alleged planned stunt. The punch occurred when Aiden Zuril punched artist Bryn in the face during their performance together. Well, it was a planned stunt. She punched her so hard that her tooth cut her lip and she was bleeding, and it just overall was kind of pathetic. Raven, for many reasons that will become clear, has become one of the most hated people in the scene. Before the show, and much more publicly after, she accused Jezebel Gebergably of sexually assaulting Zany and herself. Much of the information of these accusations has been largely lost, but it was clear she was making a very serious claim against Jezebel around some kind of misconduct that happened while Jezebel was drunk. From the beginning, Jez denied the claims, and following the outcry, Raven would eventually resend the accusations. Once again, it appeared many tweets around the drama are now deleted and not archived. Well, a lot of the responses and tweets around this whole situation are deleted. A lot of the lyrics on the previously mentioned Burger album definitely are about Raven and that whole situation. I mean, it is art, so you could say it's like a made-up story, but it seems pretty apparently about the whole situation. On the song Heads Up, Jezebel says, "If you hate me, it's not my fault. Sucking dick is not assault," which could definitely be about the assault accusations, so take that how you will. And there are also a few other lyrics that are definitely pointed at Raven. They say her name, so yeah. All this led to the debatable king of incels feeling the need to respond in a live stream, which thankfully has been archived.
If you can't have people getting hurt, you can't have these things where kids are around drugs and alcohol and around predators. And it's just so sick that it got to this point. And I'm personally offended by certain things. I personally feel betrayed about certain things. It's just you can't like lie about rape. You can't do all this stuff, but
during this response, XP addresses the drama and defends Jezebel and largely disavows the event and many in the scene. XP claims that many people LARP as based conservatives and Christians and are the worst people he has ever met. He condemned the punching of Bryn on stage and said it makes them all look like the people that the internet says they are, and that even if she consented, it isn't a real Christian move to hit a woman.
Anyway, it looks gay, bad optics, just assaulting women, everyone going, yeah, awesome, yeah, punch that bitch. It's not funny. Like, we can joke on the internet, we can say you're an incel, you can say, like, you know, it's based to be misogynistic or whatever, but you don't do that in real life because it's just jokes. I thought it was just like some gay thing. It looks bad, but now it looks bad that that happened, and then a bunch of people are defending it. So that's my opinion, that it was bad she got hit, because she got hit so hard. People say she asked for it. That's not true. She didn't ask for it. She was asked to do it. She's in my opinion, she was pressured to do it. She's just some dumb bitch, some dumb girl. If you're a man, you don't even just ask to do that for this weird spectacle for internet points. That's just not something you do.
He also goes into the multiple FBI investigations he has faced due to him making his music. He describes Raven as the worst drug addict he's ever met. He said people's stupid behavior made him feel guilty for even creating the scene in the first place. Alleges she was abusive to Zany, controls his phone, and hits him. Also, Raven allegedly leaked underage nudes. He claims Raven would often try to make people kill themselves. Damn. For her boyfriend, she would fuck other dudes loudly in the room next door, and also wanted Gez to kill herself. XP tried to mend his relationship with Zany and Raven, in which Zany agreed Jez was innocent. Raven also fucked Lil Tracy, which I just think is funny. He also calls out other artists, Owen Adamczyk and Tsar Bomba, for being weird and having bad music and overall just being clout chasers in his opinion. Some incident involving a 15-year-old being drugged and also may have occurred at this show. I am unsure of any of the validity and only know about this from this stream. He claims many of these new artists are gay and, quote, self-suck. XP made the song IRL about the whole incident. XP then caps off the whole stream by saying he understands slapping a woman when they get out of line, but punching them is taking it a step too far. Following these two live events, the promoter Raven kind of became the ultimate enemy of all incel core fans. While she organized the shows, her antics kind of all is what resulted in them being a shit show for the most part, apart from the Antifa thing in the first one. But all her allegations and alleged abuses of her ex-partners who were part of the scene led many to see her as the exact person that Negative XP described in the song Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Ruined an Entire Generation of Women. She's a woman with dyed hair and tattoos who smokes weed and has sex with a lot of guys. So many have made the meme that incel core was ruined by a woman, which is reiterated in Negative XP's song IRL, which critiques the idea that all of this was able to exist on the internet. Then when they meet IRL, it's unable to achieve what they were able to achieve online. She has very publicly talked about how she's been still unable to find a job given her controversial past, and she still even sells t-shirts or something related to the event. So it seems like despite fans not really wanting her to associate with the genre, she still is. This pretty much brings us to the current state of incel core. As previously mentioned, Negative XP no longer associates with the scene and is pretty much not active on social media. Many of the discords and other groups that contain some of the core fans had been banned or deleted at this point, leaving many thinking that incel core is pretty much dead, even big fans of the genre. Well, there was a e-punk subreddit. Sometime during my research, this was deleted. I'm assuming it's from this transphobic interaction here, just because it got deleted shortly after that, but it really wasn't used by any of the main fans of the genre. In my personal experience, the main last thing that's keeping most of these fans together is the E-Cell podcast and its associated chat rooms. The E-Cell podcast is a very well-known podcast by the host O-Figs, but recently he is now not the host of it, I guess, but there hasn't been too much of an update on that. Due to all this controversy, it definitely seems like a lot of these artists, well, their numbers may be pretty decent for a smaller sized band or a medium sized band. They still probably have trouble booking shows based on all the controversial information that will come up if you Google their names. However, this seems to be kind of going away a little bit. But what really caught my attention was a larger gathering of artists, more in the vein of these festivals I talked about previously. This being Steakfest 2. Steakfest 1 was a concert made in memoriam to the incel core artist Steak Fry. He was seen as a pillar of the community, and the show was originally billed to have Edgemaster 42, who would be flying in from Israel for the first time to perform, Cameron Flodge, Hollowed, Tsar Bomba, Bassaron, Galja Hornet, Lil Watermark, Greens on Toast, and Maniac. However, tragically, before the date of the show, artist Little Watermark passed away in a motor vehicle accident. This was very tragic news to the community and personally made me very sad because he was one of my favorite of the artists in the scene and overall seemed to be a bastion of hope in the community.
I'd like to start off by saying a few things myself. I didn't know him for very long. I think maybe 5 months. It wasn't very long, but I feel like I've grown closer with him in that time more so than I have with guys who I've known for years. And that's because he was just such a genuine person. There was really no layers to peel back to see who he really was or what he really thought about things. He just wore his heart on his sleeve. And something I always admired about him, you know, this community that we're both a part of, this music community, it's known for having, you know, shut-ins and shy people who don't get out much, who don't have many real life friends. But Watermark wasn't like that at all. He was outgoing. He was ambitious. He was a leader naturally. And I respected that a lot in him. I truly believe that had his life not been cut short, he would have been huge. He could have done anything he wanted. Could have been a mainstream punk rock star. He could have founded his own country, for crying out loud. I could see him doing that. He was an awesome guy, and he didn't let anything hold him back. In this life, you'll only meet a handful of people like Ian. And so I'm very glad that I got to spend as much time as I did with him, even if just over a screen, because he was truly something special.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget him.
He would openly critique the gatekeeping culture of the genre and was always said to be really good at uniting artists to talk to each other. And at the concert, I talked to many people that personally had relationships with him, and I only heard great things about him. Rest in peace, Little Watermark. I strongly recommend you guys check out his music. The show naturally switched to being a memoriam show for both the artists. Galja Hornet would also later drop out, apparently due to travel issues. After hearing so much about this show and doing so much research into the scene, I figured there'd be no better way to personally gain an understanding of what the scene is like than going to a concert myself. So like that, I booked the cheapest ticket across the country to New York City to go to Steakfest 2. Well, as you might imagine, going to Steakfest isn't exactly like going to most other concerts. The location of the venue didn't drop till about 2 weeks before the show, but I knew it was in New York, so I just booked the cheapest flight I could find to New York City. This is probably to prevent what has happened at the other shows with people like Antifa and detractors showing up, I'd assume. After I realized the show's location, Woodbury, New York, I then had to strategize a way to get from New York City to Woodbury, New York. Funny enough, the cheapest way to get to Woodbury, New York from the city was a bus designed to take tourists to the mall that's kind of the main hub of Woodbury, New York. Needless to say, I don't think anyone else on this bus was taking it to go to a strange niche rock concert, so it definitely stood out a little. And it was definitely just designed so you'd spend money at the mall, but it ended up being cheaper than public transportation. God bless the USA. So on the ride up, I was just looking out the window, thinking about what I was about to attend. You know, I had a few mixed ideas. Was this going to be some colossal shit show event like I'd heard about in the examples I used? Was it going to be very neo-Nazi, like a neo-Nazi rally? Or was it just going to be a bunch of kids listening to their favorite bands? So before I get too into things, I think it's important to disclose my purpose of going to this. I didn't want to show up and either do like a hidden camera and really try to expose people or go there asking people for interviews. I just kind of wanted to attend the show, film it, and kind of give a review as if I was just someone who liked the music and had no idea about any of the greater implications of what incel-core is.
All right, nigga, I'm assuming it was lit, so yeah, we'll play a little bit of the music. Seems like niggas are having a good time, so yeah, I don't know. I just watched it 'cause I had that dude in the front. So yeah, rest in peace to Reside in Paradise and Rising Power to the people that died though. But yeah, bro. Shoot. I think we're gonna end it off like that, man. Go secret stream. We're gonna probably chat stream again next Thursday. Shouts out to everybody. Shouts out to nobody. Let's get it. Yeah. Peace.